I didn't prepare a theme. I'm sorry. For WrestleMania. We're just jumping on here. We just finished night 2. Man, it was a long weekend at times, I think. Mainly because we were super frustrated at a lot of the ads, but we've been crying about this for like 2 years now. Ever since TKO bought them, we're just super pissed off about the ads and all that. And then I try to stay offline, but it doesn't help because like everyone makes memes now of they add up all the total match times versus like if the whole runtime of night 1 was like 3.5 hours, they're like only 45 minutes of actual wrestling, which is pretty atrocious when you look at that. I can't remember if that was the actual number, but it was, less than half of the runtime was actual wrestling. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like commercials. I don't like that. I don't like the momentum. I think that's what I figured out. Like, since, like, what was it? 39 and 40 were so good. And then I know TKO owned them at 40, but I don't remember, like, the TKO influence until they started Netflix. So they started Netflix that next year, right? Or was it the year of Cody? I don't remember.
I don't even know.
I think they just celebrated a year on Netflix. So it was the year of WrestleMania 41. That's when they started Netflix. After Netflix, I've noticed that like all of their shows have slowed down because they break everything up with commercials. It's almost like you kind of don't want everyone to get up after every match. And they make us get up after every match. After every match, I know there's going to be like 10 minutes of ads and clips and bullshit. And look what celebrity popped in yesterday. Uh-oh, Fluffy. Like, and it's just they do that. So I get up. I'll make something to eat, or I'll get up and just fold some laundry real quick. And then as soon as I hear entrances or the video package for the next match, then I come back and sit down. But I've broken my momentum. And I think that's what bothered me about last year's Mania and all the shows this year and this Mania was like, I don't ever feel like I get in a rhythm. Now AEW's too much because they don't let you get up at all. Like they're like match, like all the way like through. So if you get to go to the bathroom, you're probably missing like the first 5 minutes of the next match. Like there's got to be a happy medium, which I thought WWE used to have. And then now it's like, fuck, like I want to get up and wander around between matches. I think that's my problem.
Yeah, no, it's everyone's got a lot of valid points out there. And it's like, but I made it a concerted effort this year because I remember how mad I was last year about the ads and I couldn't like get over it. And this year, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just respect this for what it is. I love WrestleMania. I love it all. I know that there's sponsors everywhere. I know that there's ads every 6 minutes. I know it's going to be cut up. All these things that we had last year, it's just gotten worse. Right. So I was just like, but I said, forget about that. I'm just going to kind of watch the talent and the matches and enjoy it from there. And I had much better time, like just preparing for the worst. And then just like having, even from night 1, I had full respect like the whole time. I was just like in the moment. It was very cool. And I suggest like half of the world does the same because my God, that backlash from last night was, I'm
glad to hear you say that because I saw the backlash from last night and it's a bit of an over-exaggeration, some of the stuff I've seen about last night. Was it a good WrestleMania last night? I don't think it was good, but I thought it was fine, which to me has been the problem with WWE for me for the last couple of years. Like, I want more than just fine on the big shows. Like, WrestleMania is the one. I'm not saying I want a swerve for swerve's sake or just any talent to return and then, like at the end of every match, the light goes out and then someone new runs out. I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying like WrestleMania is where you make me feel like I'm not watching Raw or SmackDown or even a B show. If there's going to be one show that I want you to kind of wow me a little bit and reward me for watching you all year up to that point, it's WrestleMania. And I didn't get it last year. And I don't think I got it this year, but I do there's highlights for sure this year. I would say overall, wow. I probably like this year's Mania overall better than last year's because I was really disappointed in the main event last year. And there was just some other matches that didn't hit for me. But the last 2 nights were kind of the same thing. I think tonight was probably better overall than night 1 to me. But I'm not like, falling off an edge like most people were last night or whatever. Like, I mean, I was like, I was a little chill.
The amount of 1 out of 10 and the amount of worst WrestleMania ever posts. And I was just like, guys, you guys, it's obvious that some of these kids did not grow up through the 90s.
I know. I was going to make a joke on our text thread of like, we grew up in the eras of just one match really paid off, and it was usually the main event. If you were lucky, you got a hot Intercontinental Championship match and you're like, oh man, like the Intercontinental title match and then the main event was awesome. awesome. And that sold the show for you and you were fine with it. And I'm not saying the matches were terrible when we were growing up. They were just very formulaic and very normal, like especially the WrestleManias with like 14 matches on each card.
Yeah, let's go through it though, and let's start with night 2 because I think folks that are probably going to watch this first are probably just
and there was nothing
so we can actually do night 1.
Yeah, there was nothing that connected us from 1 to 2. It's like literally it felt like 2 separate shows this year. There was nothing. Right. I mean, I know the main events last year they connected. No, sorry, that was 40. That was 40. But yeah, there was nothing really that connected because there was no cash in. There was nothing like that this year, so there was no connective tissue. So tonight. We started off with O.W.P defeating Brock Lesnar in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. At first, I took umbrage with that. I was like, I don't like that at all. If you were going to be that short, I wanted a car wreck. I wanted like spears through barricades and all that stuff. But then when Lesnar surprised everybody and took his boots and his gloves off and left him in the middle of the ring, I didn't see that coming. And like for him to show the emotion the way he did, because he doesn't ever show emotion. So it was really weird, like him just stepping out and choosing tonight to be like, I'm out. Who knows? Maybe there's a storyline he'll come back in Minnesota because isn't SummerSlam's in Minnesota? I can't see Lesnar not being in Minnesota for SummerSlam. Right. I don't know. It's really weird, but I was not expecting that. I thought it was fine for what it was. I think Oba had to go over. I don't know where he goes now. I mean, the jobbing people, beating people really fast is going to get thin after a while. But if there's anybody that has the talent to overcome, it's Oba. He is so talented and he has natural charisma and his aura and his march to the ring is all awesome. I loved it. I was like, wow. Like at first I was like, I don't know if it just a generic match like this, but then when Lesnar did what he did, and I noticed when Oba left after he pinned Lesnar, he went out and he did this to Lesnar like that. And it wasn't like an insult, and I thought that was weird. And then when Lesnar, like not 30 seconds later, took his gloves off and his boots off, I was like, oh, wow, that was nice. Oba was like saying like, hey, thanks, man. Like, I know you're gone.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. It didn't really hurt Brock, really, if he decided to stay, because it was like he had full control for 4 minutes and 34 seconds of that thing. And then he just kind of stunned him with that power bomb. So it's like it was like Brock was like showing like he can beat Oba around if you wanted to, but Oba managed to like quickly pick up the quick win. I'd be interested to see I think because of timing they did because sometimes they'll just like Brock seems like a type of guy that like wouldn't tell anyone and do that, but the fact they have so much time at the end of it.
Hey Paul, and he made Hunter come over.
Yeah. A, cutting this by 6 minutes. B, I'm retiring. So keep your cameras on.
It was supposed to be like a 30-minute match. He's like, so we're gonna do 4, and this is gonna be my last.
But I said on text, like, I'll be pissed if this is a ploy to some, like, Gunther brings him back or whatever to get to SummerSlam. But for the moment tonight, like, very emotional.
Craig, I don't know if that's a bad idea, though. If he doesn't wrestle at all, and then like a month before SummerSlam, Gunther starts calling him out. Hey, there's one guy who retired. I didn't authorize that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then him just be like, I'm the one that tells people when it's time for them to retire. That'll be fun. And it'll be weird because Gunther's lost a lot of his mass. So like Lesnar's going to be a monster, but it'll be really cool to see that. So actually, I think you just wrote SummerSlam, to be fair. Yeah. And then we had the 6-pack ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. We had Penta. He defeated and defended against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. I thought it was really good. 15 minutes and 10 seconds. I liked this match a lot. This is just what made me not want to take breaks between matches because they picked up the pace with this show. Not that the Lesnar thing didn't kind of get everyone like, woo, like talking and interested to open up the show. But I was like, man, I didn't want to be let up because it felt forever between this and the next match, but I like this match a lot. Some of the spots were awesome. Of course they're going to be, right? Like, look at all the people that were involved. And Penta was really cool with his little entrance and everything. And Javon Evans is a star, I think you said in the thing. So I loved it. What did you think?
Yeah, same. It was great. I was so happy thinking of all these casuals and people that haven't been watching wrestling and not fans, like watching this maybe in a bar where their ESPN is on or watching at home because they kind of have to or they're waiting for whatever just to sample it. Like, perfect opportunity to show like, holy shit, these guys, not only from the first like, oh, Rey Mysterio, he's still going? So like you sit and you watch and you sat through that Canadian destroyer on the ladders, like Ray doing his thing, Penta, Javon Evans just taking like the most vicious damage, unnecessarily dropping from that belt like Cornette from the Skywalkers. Like it was excellent. Ray Poole. That was great. So
Oh, go ahead.
We're off to a hot start so far with these two.
Yeah, and then it felt like it was forever between this match and then the match for the U.S. Championship. Sami Zayn losing the U.S. title to Trick Williams. Trick Williams is a star. Like, he has a star quality about him. His entrance was cool. Man, like, they just really hyped him up. The thing they did right in this match was they hyped him up to be a star. And Sami Zayn, you know, it's so funny. We were all falling into the trap over the last few months of he's boring, he's stupid, and everyone's booing him. And then they go ahead and start doing a storyline where now he's encouraging it to where it looks like he's just going to turn heel. And he kind of already is, like, in that way. And I'm like, Sami Zayn just finds a way to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, like, every time. If the crowd gets tired of him, that's fine. Then I'll ironically turn heel. And you guys will be along with me. He's always been good like that.
Yeah.
Him and
whatever you give him, whether it's a celebrity match at Mania, whether it's Kevin, whether it's the Bloodline, anything you think he can't do or you're not sure what to do with, he makes gold out of it. And even with this, it was like almost like the world storyline last couple of weeks, people complaining about Trick and Carmelo and whatever. And then he ends up coming out of it looking like a rose and and
that was part of the narrative. Michael Cole said how
Trick.
He robbed Carmelo of a WrestleMania appearance. So they're making that a storyline because everyone's really mad that Carmelo got kind of cheated out of WrestleMania. So because everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a triple threat. So that way Carmelo gets on. He did not. So, and I'm surprised he didn't run down or anything. So maybe they're literally for next year's Mania, Carmelo is going to be a bigger deal of, you know, this is my first appearance at WrestleMania or whatever. So that's going to be pretty good. But it was a fine match.
Props that Trick Williams, like pimp, probably I'd say a 40-foot train on that fur coat in the beginning. Yeah. It was awesome.
And and then he, like I said, he won the U.S. title. I'm glad he looked great doing it. The thing that they're doing right on night 2 was like they had clean winners, and the right winners for the most part went over. I don't remember in a match that I didn't expect a winner, which isn't a bad thing always. Just because I know who's going to win or I think I know doesn't mean that it's a bad thing just because I can see it coming. Sometimes that's the right thing to do, and they did that so far. Then the next match, we had a street fight, 12 minutes, 58 seconds. The Demon, Finn Balor, finally defeats anyone, but he beat Dominic Mysterio, who came out in a cool little entrance where people were carrying him on a throne, and he was the King of Mexico, and he had a mask on, and he had a bunch of other like luchas in white masks or whatever, like kind of lining the aisleways and escorting him out. And I like the way he fell off the throne and they caught him. Like, that was really cool during his entrance. And Dom is just awesome. He's automatic heat or whatever. But again, Finn beats him. The right guy won. His entrance was awesome and WrestleMania worthy and over the top. And again, I'm glad they didn't try to pull a fast one on us and have Dom win. Not because I don't like Dom, but I'd have been like, what are you doing to poor Finn if you did that? You make him bring the Demon back. Just, you know, Edge already kind of took the steam off that in WrestleMania 39. And now he kind of got it back.
He had to win. Yeah, it was good. I sent a terrible text message like about 10 minutes in or 8 minutes in. I was like, is Finn washed? But I think that was before it started to pick up again. And then having like a coup de grace through the table, they both took a lot of damage. I think they both love and respect each other being in the Judgment Day. It was a lot of fun. The right guy won. Thank God. I mean, I don't know if the Demon holds up in 2026 because it's been 3 years since we saw him, and it takes a long time.
And I felt like
he was that ramp. But
I felt like he was more cartoony with it. Not that the Demon itself isn't, but I really felt like he was like at the camera a lot. Yeah. Like, and I know the aisle's long. I know the aisle's long and stuff, but he was very like the entire time coming down. I'm like, all right then, like because
we need less cats. Yeah. Hey Finn, can we do less cats?
It's more Demon than kitty cats. Yeah.
Let's go again. It'll be good. No, I like what you're doing. What you're doing.
Yeah, that was a note he had to have been given last night. They're like, you look good. Could just a little bit less kitty cat. He's trying to, he doesn't want the Demon anymore. He's trying to sell the cat, Finn Balor, and they'll no, the Demon.
I'm gonna be the pussycat. I'm gonna be the Irish pussycat.
They're all, we'll stick with the Demon. That's kind of your established thing. Let me show you. I'll show you tomorrow. No. Even in catering, he's like, when Triple H walked by, he's like, how's everybody doing? He's like, oh, good. He's like, that's no, you're not. No, none of that, please. The internet hates me enough already. Please stop. Like, don't ruin the Demon for them. Next is for the women's championship, 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill by pinfall, winning the women's championship. Jade has gotten like remarkably better since her thing. It looks like a star, and I know the internet community likes to you like beat up on people who are power wrestlers and, you know, who didn't really come from wrestling. So obviously she was really green when she came from AEW, because AEW really protected her to the point where she wasn't learning anything. And then once that gimmick was kind of up in AEW, but she's always kind of hung in there. There's been a few matches, where she's, you know, done a little botchy botch, but I mean, that's kind of to be expected because she does all power moves. So she's got to get used to people. I like her little new character. She's a little bit more mouthy. She's a little bit more animated. And I think she's kind of figuring it out. She looks like $1 million. Like, she looked fantastic. She looks like a champion. She looks like a menace. Rhea is Rhea. And I think you said it on Unscripted. You're like, she's going to make sure that she fills in the experience gaps for Jade, and she won't let Jade have a bad match. And I mean, they had a pretty standard match for them or whatever. And then the end, that's when Io ran down. But the counters that they were doing at the end, that last counter that Rhea did, where she Jade picked her up for her move and then she slid between her legs, that was slick, man. That was really, really good.
Yeah, it was excellent. Both of them, like Rhea in the white suit, which gave a nod to the Insane Asylum, which was kind of weird, but for her not coming out in black leather. And then Jade looked poised in there. It was nothing. Like, it was she met the moment, and I'm really, really happy. It was a really good match.
Yeah. And then it's weird. The night drugged for me because there was so much time in between, but then we're already here for the main event. But they announced the main event, and then it took another 20 minutes of ads. I'll stop beating the ads up. But it was 33 minutes, 57 seconds for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns wins a championship again for the first time since WrestleMania 40. He is a champion. He beats Punk in the match of the weekend. I don't think there's any question. This was wonderful. Just two guys that understand, they get it. And I'm not saying other wrestlers don't, but these guys believe in psychology. They believe in acting more fatigued as you go on in the match. Because if you're in a real fight, you're going to be, as every second goes by, you're going to be less than you were when you were fresh. That's the whole psychology of what a wrestling match should be, because you're going to be able to take advantage of an opponent later in a match as opposed to the beginning, if you can wear them down. And I love the way Punk sells and the way he does everything. Roman did a great job too. He didn't try to dominate Punk too much, even though Roman's the bigger guy for sure. And he's kind of, even though he's a really good athlete, he's more of a power wrestler. I laughed. I said it in the beginning when they were doing their opening sequence and Roman did a leapfrog. The crowd, when he leapfrogged, I was like, geez, what? He just did a leapfrog. But I guess you don't see Roman do it that much. But he's super athletic. You forget how talented Roman is, and he rose to the occasion because he is great. He is all that in a bag of you know what. And Punk is. The older he gets, I think the more he understands pro wrestling. And it's just like a lot of other great wrestlers that when they know their physicality is going away, they're so smart and they're so with it when it comes to psychology that they can still have great matches going on. This was easy, like I said, match of the night, A+. This was fantastic.
Yeah, it was truly an instant classic. I think it'll be looked upon fondly from now till forever. It started with Roman Reigns, very aura-filled entrance. It was just awesome. It was simplistic, but it was it had a live band there to play the theme, and then he just came out. It was just all him and his aura, and it just, my God, it works, dude.
Yeah, Punk came out to his Ring of Honor.
Yeah, bringing his Ring of Honor song, nice little montage, wore a jacket representing both this hardcore Chicago band member that passed away recently, and then 3 Fed guys, which was very, very nice for the crew. I love Punk. You can just tell Punk's I'm sure he still has an ego and he's still at that level, but you know that he's made it. He doesn't mind anymore. You couldn't tell whether he's winning or losing, that guy. And I think he had the time of his life, and this is going to be one of the greatest matches he's ever had when he looks back at it. And I think by the end of it with Roman, he was very happy to probably lay for the lights for Roman after that match, enduring, a hell of a story they kind of told. I mean, blood was poured. It was all 50-50. They had the crowd in their palm of their hand.
Yeah, he hung him upside down on the pole outside, and that's when he broke his mouth open, and that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, I love blood. I'm not saying I want it overdone, but I like a good blade job. But I also like it when people bleed from the mouth and it's done right, because that you think internal injuries. And I remember when we were growing up, if a wrestler bit their tongue, we saw blood out of their mouth, and the announcers back in the day used to always be like, "Oh no, he's probably got some internal shit going on." And it's like, "Oh no, he does." And so I just, whenever a wrestler bleeds from their mouth, I'm like, "Oh man, this is." The ref better call it. Punk can't. He can't do this.
And Roman had me on his selling, because I thought when Punk hit the elbow, he punctured his lung or broke all his ribs, the way Roman was selling it. I was
on the outside,
concerned. Yeah, I love it when
those
they
WrestleMania
like
tables.
that.
So I don't know the way they're designed, like, and the way both of them broke. It's like the back, like where the U is cut out, where the person will sit. That like drops first, so it slides them off. Like both tables that got broken, like it breaks on one side and they go whoa, and they slid. Like I thought Punk hurt himself on the first table where Punk got put through it, because the bottom, the place where the announcer would sit and pull into and the knees would go under, that broke first, and he just slid. Or when Roman powerbombed him on it, and it slid and Punk went head first down, and then Roman's table broke similarly. So it's just a design that these tables did where that back end breaks and you get dumped half off the table faster than you would if it collapsed altogether. So I'm like, geez, man, like, so it was cool.
And I think like I've seen video of fans, like there's technicians. I think you can make it breakable or not, like those things, because all through night one you couldn't break those tables. Yeah, and I think you can make the decision to the technician pulls something, either takes the braces out. Like you can pin. Make it like to where it like it's going to break.
They
or
just
it's not going to break.
The people over on night one. Cool. They're like, we're not taking no.
Yeah, no. This is Sunday. It's for Sunday, guys. This pin stays until Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday's no pin day, guys. It's on and they point to a notice on the wall.
Yeah, but
I mean, on Saturday,
instant classic. No bullshit from no Brock, no TKO, no Pat, none of that bullshit. Just a fantastic wrestling match between hey, your dad sucks, he's dead. And then it ended up being like, I'm just jealous of you because I never had that career.
Your dad sucks,
I'm just jealous of you because, It was just
what can I say,
it was
man?
Incredible. Incredible
story. It was really good. Yeah. I mean, we'll go to night one now, because I think that the main event on that one could have taken lessons from this one, where it's like not only was it clearly two different nights of WrestleMania, like it was very clear, but it was also like one show was WCW and the other show was WWF, like the way I viewed it tonight. They tried to do WWE production. I guess we'll just go through the matches. But the first one, we opened with the 6-man tag match. And this was also on ESPN. The Usos and LA Knight defeated The Vision, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed by pinfall. Only 7 minutes. Like I thought it was a little longer than that.
It was longer. Felt longer than that.
Yeah, but it was fine. It was fine for what it was. It was a good get them out. They did the little internet viral spots with Io Show, Speed splashing Logan Paul from the top of the way he stood on the pole straight, so that was a viral moment. They had the drone flying around, which was awesome to get that shot. So that was really cool. The right team won, I guess. Like they got him off their ass. Tito. I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine.
No, it was good. A celebrity match, obviously, but if it brings younger viewers in, and I Show Speed was respectful, got his butt kicked. He always went in there to do something and then ended up getting his ass kicked. But he finally kind of redeemed him and went from heel to face and did that one spot. And props to Logan for kind of working with him and letting him do that for him. But it was awesome. I mean, just a nice. Yeah, it's not going to main event anything, and it takes someone's spot or whatever. But what a fun little celebrity, little 6-man to start off night one.
It's a shame all the momentum that LA Knight had. It should have been a singles match for him at Mania, but but that's fine. I'm glad he was on the show and he was fine.
Hey, no botches.
Yeah, no botches. He was totally fine.
He did great.
The Usos were sloppy as usual, but anyway, but I like them together, so it was fine. Their energy's great. Their all their charisma was fine. Then the next match was an unsanctioned match, 14 minutes, 9 seconds. Jacob Fatu defeated Drew McIntyre, his really most notable single win to date. It looks like they're going to really start pushing him, which it's about time. But I think he had dental surgery, didn't he leave for, and he was injured. So I know there's been kind of some start and stops with him, but he's really good. This match was super solid. I mean, Drew could fucking do anything. I mean, I ham it up obviously for the show, but he is the complete package. They always throw that phrase around there that if you could draw a professional wrestler, it would look like Orton, or when Sid passed, or when Sid got nominated for the Hall of Fame, Brian Alvarez said, no, I think it looks like Sid. I think in modern days, it's Drew McIntyre. He's gigantic. He's well proportioned. He's a good looking guy. He can be menacing. He's got all the tools. I know that he's always going to be a 1B. I'm fine with that. But he's just been great. He's been great ever since he came back to NXT all those years ago, after he got let go the first time, went through TNA, kind of paid his dues, then came back. He's just been great. And especially in the last 2 years, and his feud with Punk really put him back on the map and put him as a serious single star. And he's got a couple world titles out of it. Hey man, some people don't win them at all, and I'm happy for him. I was very happy that he put Fatu over. It was a good match. Both guys looked mean as hell, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a really good match. This kind of where I was like, okay, I wanted the night to keep me happy and keep me going here at this point, because this was solid.
Yeah. Again, a good match to show the ESPN audience, like hard hitting, toolbox involved, wrenches, like really stiff
That's right.
stuff.
I forgot about the wrench.
Steps. It was and Drew will take anything. Like you said earlier, he can brawl. He can give you kind of a wrestler versus wrestler kind of angle. He can give you drama. He can just give you kind of comedy crazy. Like he's been a true MVP. And he to give it up and make Jacob Fatu's moment here and push him up to the next tier. It was great. I mean, every time you see Fatu at almost 300 pounds do that, like jump, hop, moonsault, Jesus Christ.
And they need to start. I think that was the biggest criticism that I had. The downslide after a big storyline, the most recent one being the Bloodline storyline. It's not that I know all storylines have to begin and end. I get it. And then the next storyline may not be as hot as what it was before. I mean, look at after the Mega Powers, like it just was never the same. But it's the stars that you make on the downslide that are going to pull you up in your next down period when you need them. And, Roman's not getting younger. They have to take advantage of him. Punk is not getting any younger. I don't mean this to be rude, but, he could blow his tricep again or whatever he blew last time. I think it was his tricep and then one time or his pec, he tore his pec in AEW or something like that. I don't remember if it was a shoulder or what, but he's getting older and he's not going to heal fast. And he's one big injury away from being like, I don't think I can do this anymore, guys. So you have Roman on his way out. You have Punk on their way out. Even Cody's no spring chicken. Orton is almost done. So you need new stars. And Drew, unfortunately, is just going to be the 1B of that generation, that last hot period. I'm not saying he's done, but you need Fatu. You need to start building him. You do. And I think that's why we wanted a new, fresh kind of LA Knight, even though he's older in age. You wanted that new character because they need characters once these older guys start re-signing contracts for less dates and Roman goes away and et cetera, et cetera. So Fatu needs to be nourished and he needs to find that whatever it's going to be about him that makes him a successful singles wrestler, they need to find it. This was a catapult. If you can't take advantage of this, maybe it's not meant to be because Drew just figuratively like lay down for him and let him go over, and really put him up there. So I want to start seeing that new stars.
It was great.
Next one, 8 minutes, 33 seconds, a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Brie Bella and Paige shocked the world, Craig. And they defeated the Irresistible Forces, Charlotte Flair and Alexa, and Bayley and Lyra. You know what? I thought the match was clunky, but what I will say is this. You could say what you want about Paige. She got a massive pop and she looked fine in there. She looked good and she held all her spots together. She looked like she could handle it and they did the quick pop or whatever. Her and Brie are tag team champions. I'm more mad that it looked like the Bellas were going to win the tag titles, which would have made me really mad. But because Nikki was out and she announced Paige is taking the play, I accept this. It's fine. I look for the Irresistible Forces to win the titles back, probably in short form, maybe on a SmackDown sometime soon or something like that. Or is that title on SmackDown? I can't remember. Wherever it is. And I really like the Irresistible Forces tribute to Demolition. Their gear when they came out was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was a good match. Like Paige, my goodness, that pop when she came out and then the purple on the Titantron being 8 years. And one thing about that, which I never realized, you'd think Paige was like older than everybody. She's actually only 33. So everyone from Becky to Charlotte to Bayley to everyone's older than Paige's. Even Rhea, like it's like crazy. Like Paige is actually super young when you think in the history of who she is. So like whether or not she can wrestle, but to your point, she hit all the right spots. She had great moments like Rock Hogan with Charlotte. She did all this, like she hit everything she needed to do. But not really in the kind of length of a real match or any sort of like putting together things. But she did what she needed to do. We'll see where she goes from here. She didn't do an AEW, whether or not that was her fault or AEW's fault. We're about to see, or whether her back's just too injured and it's a nostalgia run. But for one night, that crowd was very, very happy. So
yeah, it did its part. It's not like it was a marquee match. I don't mean that to be rude at all. This is fine. If you're going to surprise me like with this, I'm fine with that. Like I like the moment. I love the pop for her. It's something they could replay over and over again. It's fun. The next match, 8 minutes, 15 seconds for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch regained the IC title, beating AJ Lee. The match was fine. It was fine. Like, it's just, they don't, AJ is a step behind because she was gone for so long and she looks great. She's in great shape. Like, both ladies were in character. They really tried. Becky's always just like, outstanding with her facial expressions and, you know, her derobing as she's walking angrily down the aisle. She was like, nah, and just throwing all her stuff. She was fun.
Yeah.
She's always good. Becky, like I said, you know my feelings on her. I think she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. It's not even close. But because she just gets it. But their chemistry isn't the best really.
Yeah. And we will see. AJ Lee had a weird backstage interview that's making the rounds about. She said, "I didn't get a chance to say goodbye the last time, and who knows? We'll see. I hope it's not the last time, but we'll see." So it was almost that she was very emotional when she was talking to Kathy Kelly. So I don't know whether it's like a goodbye for now
She
with
took her shoes
AJ or yeah, right, like Brock. So
the next match it is the match of the night for me of night one. Singles match, 17 minutes, 52 seconds. Besides the main event of night two, the longest. No, I'm lying. Actually, it's the third longest match out of both nights. Gunther defeated Seth Rollins by him passing out in the sleeper hold. Braun Breaker reintroduced himself and speared Seth on the outside, giving Gunther the go-ahead. Yeah, twice. Very viciously, I might add. In a really fun spot where he ran, coming down the aisle out of nowhere, 30 miles an hour. I thought this was match of night one for sure, like easily. It was really good back and forth all up until this. And then Gunther getting, the thing is you can use whatever you want for a submission hold. And he just uses a sleeper. I'm not saying that to be bad, but the drama that he can get out of it when you get to that mode in the match where he starts trying to find different ways to get it on you because he senses it's time to try to put you away, like that. He's always going to win with that formula. He's always going to get you. So at the very least, the last 5 minutes of a Gunther match, you're going to be like, oh man, he's just going to keep reapplying it, letting the face slip out to get hope, and then getting him in it again, and then countering. And you really can't go wrong with this formula. It's really smart on Gunther. Yeah. And then I'm glad that he won, because if he would have lost, it would have made no sense whatsoever with his build up and everything. But this was great. This was a really, really good match.
I agree with you. I like the main event. We'll get there later, but this was by far like the biggest standout so far in the show. Seth Rollins, I texted the group, like he's just the MVP. Wherever you want to put him, he'll also kind of do his job. So it's like he's coming back from a knee injury. Wasn't sure what he was going to do, whether it was going to be Braun. But he's not in that main event picture, and he's still kind of the way he went toe to toe with Gunther, very hard hitting, kind of very strong style. Like they beat the shit out of each other. Like always impressive, and raised Gunther to another level. Like Gunther's always good, but Gunther and Seth, like it was just fantastic. Great storytelling.
Yeah, it was really good. Then we go to singles match for the women's championship. Probably the most disappointing match of the weekend for me. 6 minutes and 51 seconds. 6 minutes and 51 seconds. That's it. Liv Morgan defeats Stephanie Vaquer by pinfall to win the title. I was very disappointed in the length of this match, just the way it ended abruptly. And again, I'm not saying I want Goo Goo Gaga all the time, but no advancement of the kind of dissension they've been sort of teasing in the Judgment Day a little bit. No involvement from Dom. And I know I kind of said it would be cool if Dom betrayed her and then went with Stephanie. But I mean, I know I was throwing it way out there. That was a long shot that would actually happen. However, I wanted something to happen, and I don't know what I wanted. I just didn't want a 6-minute match between two really talented ladies that should have torn the house down, and didn't. And I don't know what happened. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Stephanie was injured or anything like that. I didn't hear about it. I just was incredibly disappointed in this match. I was like, no way. And then Liv was the total face. Not only did she get a big pop, but she runs around. She's emotional. She's like, I'm the best. And I'm like, you're just... wow. And I think that really goes to show, I know it wasn't very popular when I said it on one of the Unscripteds months ago, but Stephanie's not over. And I think that's the problem, is they were trying to put this, you're a meat and potatoes baby face. That's what you are. And then they were trying to get you to not sympathize with her, but have a little empathy for her because she's trying to speak English and all this stuff. When I was like, no, why don't you just make her heel? And why don't you make her and Dom only cut promos? Because Dom's king of lucha, right? So they should only cut promos with subtitles. How infuriating would that be? Because that's what wrestling's all about, to irritate and make upset. That's why I came up with that idea. What if Dom was a part of it. And Dom was in that sit down that they had leading up to Mania, where Stephanie was talking to her and Liv started crying because she said something and Dom was translating to her. That whole thing, why is Dom involvement if nothing was going to ever come of that? It doesn't make any sense to me. This match was weird and I didn't like it in that sense. Not that I don't like it. I think you got to give Stephanie a little bit of a flair. Look back at any of the guys now that we just praised, Drew or Seth. And then when they were heel originally, Seth, besides being, the Shield was more of like a mysterious group or whatever. So I get they were heel in the beginning, but they ultimately became faces. But Seth's first run as a heel was like, he was with Triple H and Stephanie and he was the Authority's #1 guy, but he was this generic heel. He was just a generic chicken shit, running down, cashing in, doing all that stuff. Now he's his own man. So no matter what Seth decides to do, I believe him because I feel he leads with his chest. He believes in himself. He is Seth Rollins. Whatever that character is, that's who he is, but you feel it and you know it. So whether he comes back as a face or a heel, you allow Seth to do that now. Same thing with Drew. We respect him because he's earned our respect over the years. So we allow it. Stephanie is not. And she was this face that they were like, no, everyone will like you because you're, and you do the butt thing, that's what you do. And so I just felt like that. I mean, no disrespect towards her talent because she's amazingly talented. I just feel like they cut her short and they really were trying to get like this babyface gimmick over and it just didn't work. And then they really make her look like shit in a 6-minute match. I'm like, what are we doing here, man? Like, why? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't. I like for what they did in the ring with those 6.5 7 minutes. Like, I felt they did good. It ended kind of abruptly to me. And my point in the whole thing is not just Stephanie not really rising to the occasion, but also like Liv putting out a music video and doing choreography in the beginning of that whole 3 minutes to me. Like, it's completely off brand. It's completely off brand for her. Like,
you want to cheer for her, right? Like, don't you like you feel like they're featuring her more than they're featuring the champion?
Yeah. And it's like, now you're just an influencer, like a Love Island contestant with a video. Like, no, you're Liv Morgan, who like anti-establishment kind of Judgment Day, like the bad girl. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I might be splitting hairs on a character development, but it's like, you don't need that bullshit. And I didn't need the 3 minutes that she did towards the ring. We'll see. We'll see where she can take it. I think Stephanie kind of wasn't working, unfortunatately. But she's not done by any means. She's going to be around.
No, she's amazing. Like, of course, she has so much to offer. But I just kind of, I was really hoping, like, when I felt it wasn't getting out of first gear, I was like, oh, if they do the Dom thing, first of all, I'm a genius. If that happens, because I said it, or just, I have no real reason to believe that would happen. But I was like, man, it would be the boost she needs. Because we would look back in a few years going, remember when she first went heel and she figured it out? Whenever they do something with someone and then you see them get it, you just see the light go on and they're like, oh, okay. Like, and we've seen it with all the greats that we've talked about. Like, there's a time where Roman, same thing. He was just Vince's guy and Vince was pushing him down our throat just so hard. But then when he did the bloodline, the #1, the main oos, and all that, like, then we were just like, oh, okay. Like, you saw the light go on in his head. He's like, I get it. Okay, I got it. And he's been amazing ever since then, Roman. I just want that for Stephanie because she has so much talent. And now we go into the main event of night one. 22 minutes, 44 seconds for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Cody Rhodes retains against Randy Orton. I did not see this coming, especially with the shoot promos that they put into it and inserting Pat McAfee at the end and, the last couple weeks and Randy Orton turning to the Viper again, this unstoppable force or whatever. And then I hated the fact that he was the face in the match. He was in peril the entire fucking match while Cody raked his back, poked his eyes, and maybe it is a development for Cody and they're slowly trying to tell us something. I don't know if I have faith in the company, Craig, at this point. I don't know. I want to think that they're laying breadcrumbs, but I don't trust them anymore. I was the trust the process guy over the last couple of years. And I have taught myself over the last few months, like, I don't know if they know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know if injuries, again, I don't know what's happening. I will say independently though, I did belly laugh at Pat. Listen, I know people are like unusually irritated with him for some reason. Well, when he got carried out on the stretcher, I belly laughed because that's such a Andy Kaufman move or a Jerry Lawler move. The fuck you, whatever, as he being a Vince, I think did it once or whatever. Or Shane was carrying him out when he was bloody after Hogan beat him, and then the camera went in tight on Vince, and Vince is all, like just like that. And it was great. And so I love that kind of stuff, but I fucking belly laughed when they recreated the Charles Robinson referee run and he has the neck brace on with the ref shirt on and sunglasses. I belly laughed. Like I was just fucking dying when he was running down. It has nothing to do. It didn't make the match better or anything like that. It just, it made no sense actually. Yeah. But yeah, they got a false finish out of a non-referee counting a pin. So I guess victory with that. But I don't know what happened here either. Like I felt the same thing with Cena the year before. Cody's trying to tell this story during the match, but it puts everyone to goddamn sleep. I was so bored in this match. I'm like, fuck, man. I just wanted them, and the crowd was quiet, and you could hear someone going, boring, like a few times, like in the match. And I'm like, dude, like this is WrestleMania, Cody. You can't have two shitters in a row, and you did. And I'm not maybe saying shitter is kind of being a little too harsh on it, but it made no sense. Like nothing that they've been doing, disrupting programming, trying to make us believe it's a shoot. And Pat McAfee's really shooting from the hip. And CM Punk. Like nothing connected. Nobody did anything. And then Orton just fucking loses. And I'm like, oh man. And I know he punted him. He punted the fuck out of him at the end of the match and really
closed his eye. Apparently, they actually showed that replay and closed his eye.
Yeah, but why? Well, all for naught. Like if he would have won the title and then punted him, or like they did the schmoz that they did or whatever, and then he punts Cody to beat him, that would be impactful. Like that would be like, ooh, the Viper's back. And then you could run Randy till SummerSlam and just have Cody beat him there, like, in a no holds barred match.
And I think that's where I think they're not done with the Randy story. Like I enjoyed it a lot, actually. And the only reason I'll tell you why, because then there's one reason why my enjoyment was almost blown, even the reason why I enjoyed it. I compartmentalized the two pieces of like what Randy and Cody wanted to do, and then the Pat McAfee storyline for some reason. So Pat comes down into the ring and introduces Randy, and Pat gets knocked out early. They get the jelly roll thing out of the way with a terrible elbow drop, and then he gets carted out. And then it's like, okay, they're giving us kind of what we wanted, which was Pat to not be involved in this 17-year storyline, or like the original plan of what Randy and Cody were supposed to do. So that's great. I thought like respect, blah, blah, blah. And then I got into like the match, and then I was totally fine with, you said at first, like, is Randy a face? And he obviously was. It was from the very beginning with the back and just like totally in peril. And then Cody doing the nut shot, the eye poke.
And then after he did those moves, he would mug to the crowd to almost ask for the booze, and they gave it to him. And then he would just go back to doing a baby face like that. I'm like, well, you just asked them to boo you, basically.
Yes, which I guess, like, if that was the original plan, if they are dry running, because he knew what he was doing, they knew this, like, he was going heel. Whether they did that on the fly, that's why I said, like, I want to hear someday a bunch of podcasts about what went into this match, because like he obviously, whether they did it on the fly or not, because of the crowd response or what they wanted to do, whatever, it was heavy-handed. It was definitely this turning of both guys. And then I would have been totally okay too with then Randy punt kicking him at the end. Like even after that one final turn, I was like, oh, Randy's still hearing the voices. He'll do whatever it takes to get his 15th, blah, blah. But then the Pat McAfee coming back and then taking a punt kick and then taking an RKO and then him turning like one last time. That's the only thing that was like, okay, now I'm completely lost. But I just let myself and forgot like the whole thing and kept on. The match was like whether it was Cody and Randy's like double turn or not. And then at the end of it, I was still like, I was okay. There was definitely more to this story. And if Pat's out of the picture, which I think he is, and that was just to get some ESPN viewers and whatever they've been doing the last couple of weeks or corporate influence, like, as much of a dog shit thing it was, I just appreciated for what it was. And that was a very like a nice roller coaster of like, and dry running what might happen with Cody. Like I'm intrigued. I did not dislike
it. And I guess it's not like they left us hanging after night 2 with that match. I would be really upset if they did. If that was the main event of night 2 and that's how they left us, I'd be really irritated. God,
yeah.
And then I forgot, Randy RKO'd Pat, so he pretty much kicked Pat out too. So what bothers me is like they're just not even trying sometimes. I'm just like, you guys are just staying the course, and I don't feel. I mean, I guess they must know what they're doing. They're a $1 billion company, and they're not going to purposely allow something to tank before they rescue it. They look years in advance as they're looking.
You never know, man.
Right.
I don't know if they do care. Like the only thing that's keeping it together for me is the talent. Like the talent in their individual performances gave everything they had every moment. The rest of it's not their fault. Breaking up the flow of everything with ads in the ring.
It's not the talent
and the integrated stuff and all these like back and forth herky jerky stuff. Yeah, it's
actually that's a really good point that's a good point to bring up, because what a lot of the younger fans on the internet, I mean, I was that same way when I was younger, so I'm here to say I understand. When I was in my 20s and I didn't like something that I saw and I think it should be ran this way, oh boy, it sucks and that's it. And, I totally understand. Hey, I'm here to say that I was there, but it's not the right way to be. And to your point, actually, you've always been like this, though. You've always been like the talent, and you just kind of got to appreciate what they do, and they're just along for the ride. And then if the machine does a certain thing, that's just what the machine does. But these people keep it alive, and they're the awesome ones that we should be praising and watching every year. And it's WrestleMania no matter what. For them, it's still the biggest show of the year. I know it's not, like it used to be, like because now everything's not pay-per-view, but you know what I mean? It's still a big deal to them. And I think as long as they keep the spirit of Mania alive, it's always going to be a big deal. I just hate going away from two nights a little disappointed. And I'm not saying I did not like the last two nights. I kind of wanted a little bit more. I don't know what that would be. You could ask me 1,000 times, what do you mean? And I'll still be like, I really don't know. It just was, it fits the way their product's been, but there's bright spots for sure. And I think you should celebrate the talent. I think it's really short-sighted to sit there, some of these streamers and podcasters, and just be like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Like, I'm too old for that anger now, I guess. Maybe 25 years ago, that was me, but I just can't do it anymore. Like, because I don't see, if we're going to be this old watching this, what are we doing if we're mad all the time? It makes no sense.
Right. Exactly. And if you were a person that's saying 1 out of 10 or worst WrestleMania ever, it's like, then you really shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
You either wake up tomorrow and you be like, maybe I was a little harsh on it. Like if you can't see that and just say, it was, I had a good time. It was one time of the year, like the whole crew is like texting back and forth, and it's always a highlight. I'm not going to let little things like, and you know what? TKO and WWE, they deserve to hear this vitriol, and they deserve to hear because it's all true about how it messes up the flow, and it's catering to non-fans who this is our WrestleMania. Even though you're trying to get new eyeballs, don't insult the people that are watching it without adding all these bells and whistles, respect us, which they're not really doing. All of that's totally valid, but I choose to be like that in-ring that I saw based off the stories that they kind of built for me. With all that bullshit
and we vote
aside,
with our wallets. I think that's the thing.
It.
It's never words. It's our wallet is going to get them every time. And the second WrestleMania tickets, the WrestleMania tickets are selling soft. In February, they weren't really shitting their pants yet. But in March, after Elimination Chamber, when it was still 45,000 a night, I don't care what anybody says. Someone in that company had to be like, what are we doing? Like what? Yeah. So are we going to do twofers, or what are we doing right now? Because we're getting really close. And if we only put 40 something in each night, that's not good. That's not good for us. So
and then coming on the heels of WrestleMania, of course, they always have some sort of cuts. So knowing I'm really going to be see who's cut, the reaction to people being cut all their favorites again. It's not going to be happy, especially coming off, these ads, so much money, blah, blah, blah. It's definitely a wrestler's kind of fan and not a company fan right now. So it's they have to tread very lightly.
This isn't when Vince owned the company and he would reinvest the profits into the company, because that's what he did. That's how he made this company what it is. They're not investing the profits into the talent. They're investing into their wallets and into their bonuses and their, their vacations and their yachts. They're not investing it in new talent. They could give a shit.
And if they're teasing a WWE club, which is going to be $50 to $75 a year just for access to tickets early that you can't afford anyway, and merch discounts of 5%, it's you can go fuck yourself. Yeah. If you're going to try and
like a card,
fan club
are you part of the Costco membership? That's what it is. It's going to be a WWE.
You can collect points by buying all this shit.
Yeah. And then getting what was it back in the day? It would be a marble jacket.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get
exactly marble points.
You get marble, WWE points.
Yeah. So again, hopefully you're seeing this before Monday, but the Raw after WrestleMania, always awesome. Hope it's great. Another build to another season. Let's go.
Yeah. It was fine. This is fine. Everything's fine, is what I say.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no other choice. I'd be so depressed if I hated it. If I actually thought it was a 1 or the worst WrestleMania ever, I would be so sad right now.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm never going to rank this in the top 10 or 15 or whatever, but it's not the worst. Trust me, we lived through 9, 11. We lived through so many shitty WrestleManias, the early ones when we were kids. And if it wasn't for us being kids and being nostalgic, just believing in everything, you really, when you go back and watch WrestleMania 4, come on. Like that's terrible. It's awful. WrestleMania 5 was awful except for like 2 matches. WrestleMania 6 was awful except for 1 or 2 matches. So there's a lot of WrestleManias that we'll go back and retro watch and be like, holy shit, this match was this event was terrible. Like Hacksaw Duggan and and Bad News Brown and Double DQ was awful. That was just the worst thing I've ever seen. So that was fine. We lived through another year, buddy. We'll be well, I don't know. I don't know if we'll boycott next year or not. Probably not. We'll probably watch next year's WrestleMania. It's going to be not in the United States. So that's going to be, besides Canada, this is the first time that they're going outside of the United States. So we'll see, huh? We live and learn, we grow as we get old. So
that's right. Ticket package is now available. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, the WWE Club, please sign up and then save 5 points.
Oh, that's right. For early access.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody.